Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including the latest from Tesla's Q3 2022 earnings call, Cybertruck battery production leaks and updates from Tesla, the return of Tesla's referral program, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, Tesla's earnings call happened yesterday, and as many expected, they had another strong quarter. They started their earnings summary saying, the third quarter of 2022 was another strong quarter with record revenue, operating profit, and free cash flow. In the last 12 months, our free cash flow exceeded $8.9 billion. Our operating margin reached 17.2% in Q3. As for difficulties, they mention their change in transportation at the end of each quarter, and talk about their main challenge being battery supply in the medium to long term. Quote, we remain focused on increasing vehicle production as quickly as possible by increasing our weekly build rate in Fremont and Shanghai and progressing steadily through the production ramps in Berlin and Texas. Logistics volatility and supply chain bottlenecks remain immediate challenges, although improving. So the real ramping we're seeing from Tesla right now is with increased capacity at their factories already producing at scale. They are progressing in Berlin and Texas, but it has been challenging. The highlights for cash include an operating cash flow less CapEx of $3.3 billion, and for profitability, they highlight their $3.7 billion GAAP operating income with 17.2% operating margin. As for operations, they had record energy storage deployment of 2.3 gigawatt hours and initiated a transition to smoother delivery and production mix. Essentially, they're moving away from huge end-of-quarter delivery pushes to smooth out production and deliveries throughout the quarter. They detail this in depth later in the report, showing their historical delivery state in blue and their ideal state in red. Shifting the way they have started this past quarter results in a higher number of vehicles in transit at the end of the quarter, but a reduced cost. Instead of overutilizing expensive outbound logistics at the end of each quarter and underutilizing them the rest of the quarter, they are going to even this out across the board. For production, the official final numbers show 365,923 cars produced in total, with 343,830 deliveries. Solar deployment went down a tad from Q2 to 94 megawatts, but storage deployment was up significantly with 2,100 megawatt hours deployed. For myself, the most interesting developments come with their vehicle capacity sheet. Here they detail the capacity at all of their factories and label the status for each vehicle. For the US, which now includes Texas, California, and Nevada, they said the production rate of Model Ys made in Texas continues to increase in each month of the quarter. The total number of 4680 cells produced, cells sent to formation, increased 3x sequentially in Q3. The initial phase of Tesla Semi deliveries is scheduled to begin in December 2022. For Shanghai, they talk about production surpassing previous records, and for Berlin, they mentioned that their team produced 2,000 Model Ys in a single week using 2170 cells. Quote, production rate progress at the factory is aligned with our expectations. For me, the most interesting part of this, then, is the full chart of their installed annual capacity. For California, they show 100,000 Model S's and X's per year and 550,000 Model 3s and Ys. Shanghai is now beating that factory entirely with a capacity of around 750,000 for Model 3 and Y. Berlin is around 250,000 along with Texas. For the Cybertruck, though, they are no longer in the, quote, in development phase and have moved on to tooling. This is the first update we've seen here in a long time from Tesla, and the Tesla Semi is also listed as early production. It's now confirmed to be made in Nevada, then the Roadster, Robotaxi, and others are in development. It's to be determined where these will be made. So that's a pretty big confirmation about the Cybertruck. We knew that that factory was receiving the machine to build the Cybertruck, and now it's confirmed that they are officially tooling there. A quick note about manufacturing as well. They talk about their large castings and mention that they, quote, plan to introduce front castings and structural battery packs at Gigafactory Berlin Brandenburg before the end of the year. That's the majority of what was on the earnings report regarding future products and production, but they detailed more on the call itself. I'll break that down in just a minute. Next up today, some new info has come out about the Cybertruck, potentially answering one of the biggest questions people have with it. We've had a good amount of Cybertruck updates, mostly concerning production. As far as we know, the production model of the car is pretty much set, and various additions or subtractions for the design have been seen in leaks, but production is the most important part for this truck. Most recently, we heard that the machine to build the machine was constructed and validated by IDRA, and had arrived in Texas for Tesla to begin setting up. The big question for the Cybertruck, though, is will it be reliant on 46 4680 cells. As far as we know, it will be, but production of the Model Y with 4680 cells has stalled entirely, and the progress there has been unclear. Now, a source has revealed that the battery pack for the Cybertruck will be manufactured in Fremont at Tesla's factory there. In August, we found out that Tesla was building a new battery production line in Fremont, and now it is being reported that Tesla will use this space to manufacture Cybertruck battery packs. They will be using 4680 cells, taking them from their pilot plant at Cato Road or elsewhere, and put them into modules and packs on this new Fremont battery line. Quote, currently the line is being completed by construction crews on site who are making daily progress. Additionally, Tesla engineers are installing automation equipment to produce the Cybertruck battery packs. Tesla's plan here is kicking into gear as well, and apparently they have ordered about 300 new carriers for that factory. These are the carriers that transport batteries throughout the factory and should help with manufacturing there. So it seems that for the time being, Tesla's answer to Cybertruck battery production is to produce the packs in Fremont. If they are 4680 packs, that's where they have a successful 4680 line up and running. So they will make the packs at scale right there, ship them to Texas, and then finish building the Cybertruck itself there. This is to support their goal of Cybertruck production beginning in 2023, and long term, they would then build Cybertruck packs in Texas as well. To me, this is one of the biggest Cybertruck developments we've had yet, because battery production for this truck was pretty unclear, even as the machine to build the Cybertruck was being delivered to Texas. Now it looks like Tesla has a plan, and this could develop very quickly over the coming months. It's exciting to see, and I'm very curious to see Tesla take on the electric truck market. Next up today, on Tesla's earnings call itself, Elon Musk had a lot to talk about. Elon started out with a summary of what the quarter has been like, talking about how in Berlin they hit 2,000 a week, and in Austin they're almost at 2,000 Model Ys made per week. He actually said if you looked at the data from yesterday, it was 2,000 for the past week. That's likely a lot more than most people thought they were at, so it looks like Giga Austin is ramping up decently. As far as 4680 cells, which a lot of their plans are riding on, they did say that they're gaining traction on those cells. Output is growing rapidly, and they expect to start incorporating it into their cars in a significant portion in coming months. Likely this could mean the official introduction of the standard range Model Y built with 4680 cells, as well as a long range Model Y built with 4680 cells. I still think it'll be a few months away, but that's definitely exciting to see. Really curious how they'll handle the difference between 2170 cells and 4680 cells in the eyes of the consumer. As far as the FSD beta, he said it will probably be released to everyone about a month from now, so keep that Elon time in mind, but he did say by the end of the quarter. As is often the case with Tesla, he said it's important to look into the long term because they have a lot of stuff going on, and they're not even to 1% of the overall worldwide vehicle fleet yet. But he definitely sees a path to getting there and talked about the value of Tesla. A few years ago, he talked about Tesla being worth more than Apple. And Elon said that Tesla is now worth more than Apple was at that time when he gave that number. A lot of people compare Apple to Tesla all the time as both companies are growing. But technically, they did hit their goal of being a bigger company than Apple was at their market cap at the time Elon talked about that. Of course, this required incredible execution and some luck, but they achieved that. Then Elon said, now I'm of the opinion that we can far exceed Apple's current market cap. He also said there's a potential path for Tesla to be worth more than Apple and Saudi Aramco combined. Of course, he talked about that not being guaranteed, and it will require a lot of hard work and some luck. But with a lot of exciting products, it could happen. He then took it one step further and said he sees Tesla being worth twice that of Saudi Aramco. It's unclear if he's talking about their current market cap or seeing them going down at some point in the future as electrification is growing. He also reiterated later in the call that his estimates here of being worth twice Saudi Aramco do not include Optimus, and he paused for a little bit after saying that as if it's a very big implication because he sees Optimus as being huge. So even without the Optimus program that he sees as being more important than any other Tesla product yet, he sees them being worth this much. As far as future products though, he said they have an incredible product portfolio, some of which we've seen and some of which we haven't. For the Cybertruck, they are in the final lap. They are building the line at Giga Austin as we speak, making a lot of progress on the robotaxi platform, and for batteries, they're moving as fast as possible to have 1,000 gigawatt hours per year in the US. That will be vertically integrated, so everything will be in the US from the anode to the cathode and everything, and they're moving at top speed for that. As for their growth, they still see themselves on track for 50% year-over-year growth, but they did mention this could change to 50% production growth and not always deliveries since they're smoothing out deliveries over the course of each quarter. They expect to see the same lower deliveries and higher production in Q4, and those cars will be held over to be delivered in Q1 of 2023. Eventually, we should see this even out. For the Tesla Semi, they are starting official production and getting the first deliveries underway for December of this year to Pepsi. But regarding production there, he said they are tentatively shooting for 50,000 production units of the Semi in 2024 in North America. This is much more than a passenger vehicle and requires a lot more batteries, that of several Model Ys to create, so 50,000 is still a very large goal for this truck. Then came what could be the most exciting part of the call for some people. He talked and leaked a little bit about their third vehicle platform that they're working on. He said that this platform will cost half that of Model 3 and Y. Likely this is either the platform they're working on for their $25,000 EV or their robotaxi. He did specify that, to be fair, it will be a smaller vehicle, so it's very likely that this is a small hatchback that they're working on, but I personally think, in their mind, this is the robotaxi. The robotaxi is what they're focused on, and Elon continues to reiterate their achievements and progress in full self-driving. I think in Tesla's mind, they see the robotaxi being the most important product, and they never need to make a cheaper electric car. This third vehicle platform will cost half that of Model 3 and Y, it'll be much smaller, and won't require a driver. Of course, we'll have to see how that pans out, but Elon, as usual, was very optimistic on this phone call as a whole. Next up today, Tesla looks to be reviving the referral program for vehicles. For a while, Tesla had a referral program that would incentivize owners to refer people to buy a Tesla. Originally, the program included multiple stages of incentives and allowed anyone, including YouTubers, to push their own referral links in exchange for some rewards. The main reward was that the person referring and the person buying a Tesla would each receive 1,000 free supercharger miles. A small reward, but useful for your first few Tesla road trips. However, if you referred a large number of customers, you had the possibility of earning a percentage off of a Roadster purchase, of which a few people earned 2, and earned other things like special wheels for your Model 3. Tesla would also enter you for a chance to win a Model Y or Roadster, which was drawn quarterly. Eventually, this program changed as Tesla was giving away too much with Roadsters specifically, and it became simply the 1,000 free supercharger miles. Ultimately, Tesla then discontinued this entirely and says, quote, "As of September 18th, 2021, vehicle products are no longer eligible for referral awards. Solar panels ordered between September 18th, 2021 and October 8th, 2021 are not eligible for referral awards." They don't really seem to need help with demand, but now it looks like this program may be returning. In Tesla's source code for their latest mobile app update, there are references to owners earning more than supercharger credits from referrals. In app version 4.14.1 for iOS, there are several references to referral codes and new redemptions. Quote, "Perhaps most interesting are references to the ability to not only earn supercharger miles, but also redeem referral credits for official merchandise and accessories, and even software upgrades for your vehicle. In theory, if this is true, it might mean you could purchase acceleration boosts, FSD, merchandise, and more for your car by referring others to buy a Tesla. It's something that would definitely incentivize Tesla owners once again to give Tesla some nearly free advertising. A couple of the references are shown here in code. This is a big development, but as pointed out by Drive Tesla, source code hints like this could mean we see it come to fruition in a few days, weeks, or months. It's not clear how the timeline will be here. What I'm personally most curious about is how Tesla is going to handle expiring supercharger miles. All of my referral miles from the old program are set to expire in May of 2023, and I'd love for those to either be extended or for me to be able to redeem them for things like FSD or enhanced autopilot. Many are also curious why Tesla may be bringing this back. I think it's a great program regardless of demand to get owners a bit more involved and excited to share, but some will see it as something Tesla is turning back on to ensure that they have enough demand as production continues ramping. We'll have to see. Last up today, some updates about other automakers. Foxconn just unveiled their new electric pickup truck and crossover that they plan to build in the US. The most interesting thing here is that Foxconn is Apple's biggest manufacturing partner, making the majority of their products. In 2020, they developed an open source hardware and software platform for EV manufacturing and has plans for manufacturing in the US. Previously, they unveiled the Model C, and now they have unveiled the Model B crossover hatchback as well as the Model V pickup. What's important to keep in mind is that these are demo vehicles and Foxconn does not plan to be a consumer-facing racing brand. They want to make partnerships with other automakers to sell the vehicles that they make. For the Model V pickup, Foxconn confirmed that it will be manufactured in Taiwan, Thailand, and the US, so it's unclear who they plan to make it for. One interesting quote from their chairman involves Tesla, and it looks like Foxconn would love to make cars for Tesla. Quote, based on our past records for the PC and cell phone markets, we're at about 40 to 45% of the overall market share. So ambitions-wise, hopefully we are able to achieve the same kind of achievement like in the ICT industry, but we will start small, which is about 5% in 2025. I hope one day we can do Tesla cars for Tesla. At first glance, it's pretty clear that Tesla would never take them up on this offer, but long term, if Tesla has a vehicle like a $25,000 EV that they want manufacturing help with for scaling in large quantities, they could partner with someone else. Manufacturing is one of Tesla's biggest focuses though, so it does seem unlikely. Over at GM, they officially unveiled the full details for the Cadillac Celestiq. Right off the bat, it's clear that this is an ultra-luxury car not meant to compete with much else on the market at this point. It comes in at $300,000, and Cadillac says that they will only build a limited number of these each year. It has an extremely luxurious cabin, with many screens including the 55 inches of glass from left to right front pillars. As for the specs, it will get 600 horsepower, a 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, 300 miles of range on a 111 kilowatt-hour battery pack, and will enter production in December of 2023. It's also extremely large, coming in about 18 feet long and 7 feet wide, which makes it larger than the Cadillac Escalade. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see my first impressions of the Rivian R1T, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.